Got them fixing up their octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 20/20 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top is missing, the opposition in. All that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You would joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You would joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Seattle Seahawks. Up and off we go from Lambeau. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go. Watch that in. Watch that in. Tight end right.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
Hey, pick your game up.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Sacked there by Jadeveon Clowney. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
He finds an opening past the 40. And he'll cut. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones, 72 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. From the gun, it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Preston Smith comes in for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you. You change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now, they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a fly.
And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 43 yards.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
Now a first down carry by Jones. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. But it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball carrier did not benefit.
It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
That's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on a running play on first down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they've got 3rd and short.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. And Lewis has it, the tight end. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
Now Jones. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. Rodgers going to throw. That is incomplete. It was Trey Flowers that time who got a hand in and broke it up.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. He sets up the screen to Jones. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. That drive took him inside to 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This is taken at the 3. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've had it twice. They punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Two times.
On first down, Carson. And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They run it with Carson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Now on 2nd and 13. Wilson forced out to his left. He'll run it. Room here to run. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. Took nearly the entire first half, but a first red zone opportunity for him here. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Now it's Wilson, and nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Carson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Jacob Hollister there to make the grab as they are now on the board here in the first half.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
And oh, it's no good. For the 2nd time now in this first half, he's missed an extra point. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if accelerating, and off he goes. 20, 10, touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Crosby with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. On the move to his left. He's going to take off with it. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run on first down. It's Carson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Preston Smith on the tackle.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Zadarius Smith, credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Now Wilson being chased out left. And that is incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. To throw is Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
318. Tally. Don't let Tally. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But There's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
What? 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Here's Wilson. Flush to his right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Go!
54.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete with a... Down now to 13 seconds.
Incomplete. Shaquille Griffin there defensively.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Here we go.
Here's Rodgers. Going to throw again. He's going to air one out. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Intended for Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Working from the gun. Rodgers. Open man is Allison, complete. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the 3rd quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And a throw there going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Now it's Lockett. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
And the Seahawks, first down.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. This is Carson fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. The tackle made by Blake Martinez.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
From the 35 on second down. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Packers pick it up. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
Again, it's Jones. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. That one third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football, we're not seeing it right now.
On first down, Jones. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll go again to Jones. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So now a two-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. After the interception, here's Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Blake Martinez. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Shift. Hey.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
So many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
He's just not at his focus in this game. It's not one drop. It's not two. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Now, this was still going to be a one-score game either way, but still, that's a potentially harmful miss here in the 4th.
It certainly is, because if you consider that now if they give up a touchdown, they give up the lead. So he might be getting the side eye by the defenders coming out on the field now as he goes back to the...
Oh, no, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because... This is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. And the Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and a mile. Out of the gun, here's Wilson, eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep, and Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jair Alexander, and he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And an alley to run. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposite.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Montravius Adams picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. And he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
And some space here. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones. 81 yards. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. But go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That 3rd one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Extra point up and good by Crosby, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track? And a big loss here as he's taken down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Throwing is Wilson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Kevin King with a pick, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Jones. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit, boy.
4th down.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through, and they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.